Good evening, race fans. Live from Lake City, Florida, here at All-Tech Raceway. It is night number 2 of the Showdown in the Sunshine State, presented by Dirt Track Digest. Welcome aboard for tonight's coverage of night number 2 of 3 here at All-Tech. Steve Ovens, Adam Ross will be taking you through all the action here tonight from high atop the All-Tech Raceway, which Adam last night put on a dandy in both the Modifieds and the Sportsman.
What a beautiful facility. So much fun to be here. And who could have asked for more than a couple of, it's not fair to call them surprise winners, but Larry White won one feature event in 2025. He's already matched that one race into 2026. Jessica Power won 3 races last year. She won last night. Just a wild night of racing. Lots of passing, lots of action.
Certainly was, and I think really sets the table nice for tonight, being the second night of 3. So some themes that we take out of last night, of course, the popular and the good wins for Larry White and Jessica Power, but something that we talked about this afternoon as we're preparing for tonight's show is, man, the qualifying and the inversion seemed to be everything last night.
You have to be up on the wheel. You've got to make speed at timed hot laps. You've got to make the most of that heat race, get into the redraw. We saw a lot of passing last night, but it was a big advantage to start at the front of the field on a track. I don't want to call it treacherous. I think the word we've been using this week and hearing this week is technical.
Yeah.
It's a fine line.
It really is, and we saw drivers pushing that line last night. When you've got guys like Matt Williamson, Matt Shepard, who are saying when you go down in the corner, you're not really sure what's going to happen. And for drivers of that caliber to be saying that about this racetrack, I think just goes to show how high the skill level is for these drivers to be successful here.
And it really makes us appreciate, helps us appreciate that Larry White has zero to give.
Yeah.
He's going to the outside, treacherous or not, putting the hammer down. And Matt Williamson, in talking to him earlier on, thinking he can't do that for 40 laps. Well, guess what?
Yeah,
he did it for 40 laps.
He did. And one of the gentlemen that was calling that modified race with us, Randy Williamson, last night, what a lot of fun that was to kind of get in the thoughts of one of these chassis manufacturers as he's watching a race and watching all the different cars last night. And we're going to continue that with more guests tonight.
Oh, it's going to be a lot of fun. Jessica Friesen going to come up and join us. I think Parker's going to be here as well. That'll give us a really cool viewpoint that neither of us can bring to the table.
Yeah.
So a ton of fun last night. We saw 2 great feature events, 6 great heat races. I mean, what can we hope for tonight that we didn't see last night? I mean, Matt Shepard missing the redraw. And that wasn't misfortune. We don't wish misfortune on anybody. That was a tough draw.
Yeah.
And that was cars in front of him that got it done in the heat race in ways that he couldn't.
And with 3 heat races, too, let's talk about that. That makes each of those heat races potentially to be as stacked as that one was last night with Friesen and Shepard all in the same group.
It was a particularly hard heat race, but there wasn't an easy heat race.
No.
Right?
No.
It's kind of strange to the way you look at it all shake out. Every driver that transferred, every driver that made it to the redraw last night deserved to be there. They had speed when they needed speed and had great heat races.
Well, talking about that great modified race, why don't we take a look at the recap from last night's feature? Let's take a look at the highlights from night number 1 of the Showdown in the Sunshine State, 40 laps here at All-Tech Raceway. And, of course, the big storyline last night, Stuart Friesen back in competition. Getting the helmet strapped back on for competition, it was Chris Curtis and Matt Williamson that led him to the green last night, Adam.
And Matt even talked about it post-race. He thought Curtis was going to go up the racetrack. He didn't. Larry White committed to the high side, power down the backstretch with the lead.
So White takes the lead, a lead that he would not relinquish, but Chris Curtis, a little bit of trouble here, but more trouble for Anthony Perego.
Eric Rudolph did a great job avoiding it. Anthony Perego, I'm not even sure if he saw what was coming. Hard impact, tough on the leg of Anthony Perego, an injury and damage to the car that they didn't think they could get fixed properly, and they are headed home. As the race went on, Stuart Friesen, we saw it early in the night. His competitive spirit is there. He had an up-and-down night, a solid run.
Matt Williamson's on board here, showing the distance between himself and White, and White just cruised on that top side and never let off. Second win in his career here at the Alltech Raceway, first since 2022, and he was on. He was lit up last night, man. You could see the smile, you could see the relief on the face of Larry White. That one meant a lot last night.
That was a 2021 chassis.
Yeah.
They went shopping to find a 5-year-old race car because that's what their setup notes were good on. They found that the newer cars, they just couldn't take the setup notes and apply them. So they looked for that vintage of car, and it seems to be paying off.
It certainly was. Great to see Larry White get back to victory lane at a track that I won't say he's dominated, but he has run extremely well here at Alltech. And, talking through the pit area, everybody says, hey, you got to go through the 99 tonight. So we'll see what happens. We also have some drivers that we're adding to the field tonight. The Baldwinsville Bandit, Jimmy Phelps, is in town, just rolled in today.
Jimmy Phelps will be fun to watch. And, Stephen, who else put on a show last night? Hard Charger?
Yeah, Darren Smith.
And he's going to be rewarded tonight because we're going to be on board with Darren Smith all night long with the in-car camera. That's going to be a lot of fun. How many cars did he pass? You're the stats man.
Yeah, he passed 12 cars, which, he's been the hard charger here at Alltech Raceway 4 times, passing 11, 12, 13, 14 cars now. 4 times he's been the hard charger. If they can get in the redraw, I would circle that number 12 on the starting lineup. So as we transition and our look at the modifieds, let's take a look also at the Barron's 1-to-Go Championship, because the modified drivers here tonight are accumulating points, as we see here. Larry White, the leader of the Barron's 1-to-Go points. And the way, Adam, that these are structured is the top 3 across the line at the white flag.
In every race. So the 3 heat races plus the feature. The leader at 1-to-Go gets 3 points. Second place gets 2 points. Third place gets 1 point. That is why we have Larry White and Matt Williamson tied at the top with 5 points each after night 1 of 3.
And a big thank you to Barron's Performance Warehouse, as they are putting up $500, $250, and $100 to the top 3. And they're running a mini-series here at Alltech for the Barron's 1-to-Go Championship. Now, later in the season, these modifieds in the Super Dirt Car Series and the Short Track Super Series, they'll also have another program that they can participate in, and just a great activation of sponsorship in motorsports. So a big thank you out to Jeff Barrett and the whole crew there at Barron's Performance Warehouse. So let's talk about quickly the format tonight for the modifieds. We'll talk about the Sportsman here in just a moment, but they'll come out for hot laps tonight. We won't see the slow laps. We won't see mud laps tonight for these drivers. They're going to come right out to hot laps this evening. They'll get 2 laps. They'll go back in. They'll make adjustments. They'll make changes to their car. And then they'll come back out here for a green-white checkered for time trials, which will set the lineup with an inversion of 4 for the heat races tonight. Heats for the modifieds are 10 laps. Tonight's feature, 40 laps in distance, 5,000 to win. Adam, let's talk about the Sportsman. Jessica Power, big win for her last night. Why don't we go ahead and take a look at the recap for the Sportsman, who put on a thriller here last night at Alltech. Chaz Wolbert, Carl Comfort led the field to green last night, and Chaz Wolbert had a hot rod underneath him, Adam, and led this early.
Derek McGrew immediately committed to the high side in the 26. He took the lead. Wolbert was still a factor until he got into a Uke tire on the inside, ended his night prematurely.
We thought McGrew was going to run away with it, but missed the bottom just a little bit getting into turn number 3. And who was there to capitalize? Jessica Power.
Jessica had been running that line all night long to perfection. First time ever a female in victory lane here at Alltech Raceway.
So big congratulations out to Jessica Power, who looks to compete weekly at Can-Am and Brockville this season, as well as the Dirt Car Sportsman Series, and also looks to do a little bit of 358 modified racing with sponsorship help, of course.
They've been dabbling for the last little while and getting out into the modified ranks, but a very popular win here. And if you tuned out last night after the modifieds, don't make that mistake again. That Sportsman race was phenomenal. The kids put on a great show.
They did.
I'm trying. So off the top of my head,
Sullivan Dickey, Lockhart,
Avery and Logan Lockhart.
Logan Lockhart, yeah, Avery Decker.
All of these youth racers were putting it on the line, putting on a show. It seemed that being a veteran kind of paid off, experience paid off, but 6th through 10th were some great stories out there in the Sportsman. And as I say, don't discount it. Make sure you watch it tonight because it's entertaining stuff.
It'll be the same format for the Sportsman tonight with their 2 hot laps, green, white checker, timed hot laps to line up their heat races for 8 laps, and then their 25-lap feature tonight. We had great stories all night long last night. One of them, of course, Larry White getting back to victory lane. Our Mimi Lazaro got a word with Larry White earlier today talking about how big that win was for their team. Let's send it over to Mimi.
We are down here with night number 1's feature winner for the inaugural DTD Showdown in the Sunshine State, Larry White. Larry, man, you were fast last night, but tell me, you found this car in an airplane hangar.
Yeah. Jeff Barron actually called us up and said that had a customer in wanting to sell off some stuff because he wasn't going to be putting it together and doing any racing. And so he connected us up with Kevin and we talked some numbers, came up with a number, and went down and picked it up.
That's pretty wild. You know, this track seems to be a favorite of yours. You do very well here. Why do you think that is?
I think you just got to kind of have a little bit of nerve entering on the wall and trusting it's going to turn eventually. And just this place has always suited me. It kind of reminds me a lot of Fulton when it gets super slick. And, you know, if you got a good car, you can dime in the corner, make the straightaways longer. And, you know, this slick track racing, that's what we grew up racing back home. So it's kind of second nature to us.
You make any changes from last night? Keep the car the same? What do you do for strategy tonight?
Just throw some wax on it and call it good. You know, time-wise, we were far enough out that I think for tonight we just need to let everyone try to catch us. And you know, if we need to make a couple of changes, we've got some stuff already set up and ready to go if we need it. But other than that, I'm going to try not to mess it up and just keep driving it.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you so much. Good.
So a few words there from Larry White as he gets ready to go here for night number 2. And we've got some folks got the campers set up. We've got, you know, to me, Adam, noticeably more people here tonight at Alltech than what we saw last night. Parking lot starting to fill in nicely. And one of the things, you know, speaking of camping, here at the Alltech Raceway, I see they're, you know, kind of giving a shot of the property here, but they've got a whole new camping area that overlooks the back straightaway in turn number 2, and it gives off, without the incline of the hill, it really gives me some Orange County Fair Speedway vibes of having that viewing area.
Oh, big time. And you've got to think the sun has set, so it's beautiful from over there because the sun is behind us sort of in the afternoon hours. Perfect setting. This is a well-lit racetrack. I have not found anything about this track that I don't... Uke tires. And I don't like Uke tires anywhere, but otherwise, everything about this track is fan-friendly, racer-friendly as well.
Yeah, no, for sure. And, you know, one of the things that... you know, that was improved here. We've seen improvements even in the amenities here in the tower, but, you know, a whole new, if you're just tuning in tonight, if you weren't with us last night, an entirely new clay surface put down by Wendell and the whole crew here at Alltech, and it turned out quite well for racing last night. And, you know, it's interesting to hear Larry talk about how this place drives because, you know, watching guys try to hug the corners, you know, coming on corner exit and trying to diamond the corner. And he said it reminds him of Fulton. It really does remind me of Fulton as well, with a little bit less banking, particularly down here in turns 3 and 4, with how much it opens up. I mean, these guys could go 3-4 wide if they need to. Well,
And they did. That was a great moment in the Sportsman feature. Derek McGrew was on the outside. Jessica Power was the last one to the party on the inside. Was Carl Comfort one of the cars? They went 4 wide off of turn 2. McGrew got the advantage out of that. Jessica got second out of that. But there was room for all of them. They weren't bouncing off each other. There was that many lanes to choose from.
That 4 wide in turn number 2, if there was any place on this racetrack that I wouldn't have thought they could go 4 wide, it was over there in turn number 2. So they definitely proved me wrong last night. And, man, look at this surface. I mean, it is ready to go. We're going to crank these guys up. If you tuned in last night, you saw that we did a lot of slow laps at the beginning just to kind of give that polishing touch to the surface. But Wendell says we're ready to go. We're solid. So
I can't wait to see what's coming up tonight. And this isn't like me, Steven. I'm not one for having a bunch of sheets of paper in front of me, but for the occasion I did. Look at the movers and shakers in last night's feature. Matt Shepard up 11 spots. Darren Smith up 12 spots. Peter Britton up 11 spots. Only finishing the 10th spot, but he had to pass 11 cars to do it. We had a lot of drivers that were able to drive through the field. And boy, this Sportsman race was just phenomenal to watch. Avery Decker's only being shown up 1 spot in 6th, but he fought for that 6th spot the whole race. Jeff Beaumier out of Three Rivers, Quebec, up 7 spots. Karsten King. These are young drivers. This seat time is invaluable for them.
yeah.
The spotlight is on. Good for them for having such great runs last night.
Chris Curtis, first car out onto the racetrack here tonight, aboard car number 35, as we're getting ready to go here at the All-Tech Raceway. Sean Beardsley right behind him, and Curtis with a little bit of tough luck last night, but going to try to turn that around here tonight. Sean Beardsley aboard car number 18 out of Central Square, the Neville Precision Plumbing ride.
And Sean said, I don't know what to make of this racetrack. He said, most laps I really wasn't comfortable out there. You're not sure what the car's going to do. He says, I'm glad to be here. Didn't have a bad time. But you could see the uncertainty was still very much there for a driver who doesn't have laps on this racetrack. But solid run last night.
Matt Stengel aboard car number 6, the driver out of Neshannock Station, New Jersey, the Ace Materials Active Disposal sponsored machine. Stuart Friesen aboard car number 44, the Halmar International, Glenn Stiers Racing sponsored ride, and Garrett Crummert in car number 29 out here for this first hot lap session. Never been to All-Tech Raceway before tonight. Had 4 wins in 2025, 2 at Lernerville and 2 at Sharon. And Adam, this driver right behind him has been pretty impressive here, Donovan Lucier in the 61.
Finished 14th last night, started 20th, so moved up some spots, got himself some good seat time, but he's been fun to watch. Like just watching all of them try to figure the place out, because Wednesday night when they came out here to hot lap, nobody looked comfortable. None of them. And we saw that last night with cars that hadn't been here. Peter Britton, Matt Stengel. Took them a while to look at home out on the racetrack. I'm curious to see what Jimmy Phelps is going to look like, because he's just shown up today to go racing. In talking to him, he said, I asked if he got any setup tips from anybody, so we're just going to go with what we know.
Yeah. Yeah, Jimmy has tested here before, but never in racing competition, so that will definitely be different for the Baldwinsville Bandit here tonight. As a couple more cars filtered out here. Rick Laubach in car number 20, the QXO. Sponsored ride, and one of the favorite interviews of the night last night. Auger Manufacturing Specialist on the side of that ride as well, for the driver out of Quakertown, Pennsylvania.
Pretty pumped up about the equipment he's bringing to the racetrack this season and the opportunity he's been given to showcase what he feels he knew all along, how competitive they can be.
Absolutely, and here with big block power, as he has been in years past. And Rick Laubach, interestingly enough, still searching for that first top 5 finish here at All-Tech Raceway after a nice top 10 effort last night.
One of the conversations I don't think we can make a big enough deal about was the fact that some drivers, not many, have always run down here with a big block. As a Garrick Rudolph, he has won a race with a big block. Rick Laubach, so not running the Short Track Super Series, some of the different engine combinations that they can run, and feeling it was a bit of a disadvantage to be here in a big block. But now everybody is down here with a big block, running dirt car rules, Hoosier tires. Larry White mentioned it in his Victory Lane interview. They've brought it into what he feels is his wheelhouse.
So we're going to crank the cars up here for our first hot lap session of the night here for night number 2 of the Showdown in the Sunshine State. Driver's first opportunity, Stuart Friesen on your screen there. Leads all drivers with 7 career wins here at Alltech. 2 ahead of Matt Shepard, and now 5 ahead of Larry White after Larry getting his second win at Alltech here last night. And in years past, I watched an interview getting ready for this week's show and saw that Stuart Friesen called this place, he goes, you got to get used to the Florida slime. And I'm sure that's what they're getting used to here in hot laps, is getting these first laps on the racing surface. Checkered flag coming out as drivers getting about 2 laps here in hot laps. They'll have an opportunity to go into the pit area, make some quick adjustments, but they're not going to have a lot of time to make those adjustments, Adam, as they'll be coming right back out here for time trials in about 10, 12 minutes.
Yeah, you're not going to be making wholesale changes, that's for sure. As we have a look at Danny Creedon there, lined up, ready to go out. Everybody ran the same line in that session. They're all about a lane off of the bottom of the racetrack.
Good shot there of Peter Britton. There's last night's feature winner, Lightning Larry White, the big red towing 99L. All business, ready to get to work as the second session rolls off onto the racetrack. And first driver out here, Rich Scalata.
Now, here's a driver who kind of puzzled me last night. The start of the race, he was at the back. I don't mean near the back. He was at the back. Couple of restarts at the back. Third restart of the night, I look up, and there's 10 cars behind him. And I don't think 10 of them went into the pits. He started to pick cars off one at a time. Where did he wind up? I think I'm looking at the results. Yeah, 11th place finish.
Yeah.
Started 19th, finished 11th, kept himself out of trouble. I just thought a solid race for him.
If there's ever such a thing as a quiet 11th place finish, I think that's the definition right there.
Well, you know what? And I think for a lot of drivers, a quiet night is something to celebrate, because what it means is your crew's not going to be up all night long or up at the crack of dawn to come and make repairs on things. It just means you drove the car to the best of its ability, had a solid run.
And there you see Jimmy Phelps, the J&B Installations Mohawk Northeast 98H. Going to get his first event of competition here at Alltech Raceway.
It just makes me wonder. If you could be here for night 2, why didn't you get here for night 1? Come on. Come on, Jimmy. But no, that crew was all set up earlier on in the day. Said they were able to listen to the show last night on the way down.
Here's a driver right here that had a solid night going, didn't finish as well as they started. Aiden Cipriano came home 23rd last night.
Yeah, the result doesn't indicate the success he had last night. He looked good out there, and something didn't go their way in the feature, and finished in the 23rd spot.
Jeremy Pitts aboard car number 27. Driver came home 15th last night, and we'll look for a little bit more out of that Next Generation Roofing number 27 ride. Danny Creedon, driver that's got some laps led here, has not picked up a win yet at Alltech, but he does have laps led here at Alltech in the past, and we'll look to build on that here tonight in the 10C.
Yeah, the Design Concepts and Enterprises 10C. Rex King Jr. in the 165. Not the kind of night you write home about. Started 22nd, finished 20th, so he'll be looking to improve on that here this evening. But they're ready to go. That crew is always in good spirits, and they were today when I had a chance to walk on by.
Yep, down here to have a great time, and a precursor before they head down to Volusia, a trip that they've been making for a few years now, and looking forward to doing even more racing here throughout the month of February.
1 to go, and we're going to set them loose in this hot lap session. And we'll watch to see if the track widens out. Darren Smith able to use a little bit more of the track, slides up towards the wall as we ride on board. He's giving us a show here down the back straightaway. You can see it's a nice wide racing surface. Able to keep the car down more in 3 and 4 as the white flag flies. What line's he going to choose in 1 and 2 this time? Whole lot better that time around.
So Darren Smith, the Smith Site Development number 12. Eric Rudolph with a win to his credit here in car number 25. That win was back in 2020, I believe. Yes, 2020. The third time that the big blocks, well, at that time modifieds, they were big small blocks and big blocks. So that hot lap session wrapping up. And, you know, for those that maybe didn't tune in last night, and you'll get a look at it here riding with Darren Smith, something very unique that we see here at Alltech. They exit through the infield off turn 2 to give them that straight shot across the track to get back into the pits.
Yeah, it's safer. It's more efficient. The crew here knows how they want to run their shows. They've got the layout of the track. They know how they want it to go for these teams.
I just think back so many years of watching guys trying to make that hard right turn. I'm thinking of back in the day, a place like Weedsport before it was its current version of Weedsport Speedway. You know, guys trying to make that hard right turn, and you got cars lined up to come out in the next feature. So, yeah.
And if something is amiss on the car, you're in big trouble. Look at what we have tonight.
Yeah, I see this. Yeah.
A working scoreboard on the infield. That's a nice plus. Peter Britton's here. The Northeast Racing Products, 21A. Always popular wherever he goes as Batman.
Watching modified warm-ups right now here on DirtTrackDigest.tv. And if you're watching online here, if you're catching us on social media, tune in and join us for the rest of the program. If you didn't watch last night, you missed out. You can get a one-night pass tonight for $39.99. DirtTrackDigest.tv. I'm going to give you a reason why you should purchase the broadcast. The broadcast that's being put on by DTD, this is immediately impacting all of these drivers that have come down here to race and put on this show. So if, you know, I've talked to so many people that say, I'd love to get involved. I'd love to help out a race team. But, you know, I don't have a big business. There's nothing I can do, you know, as you know, somebody that doesn't have that large business. I can't get involved. Here's one way to get involved. Join the pay-per-view tonight and directly impact these race teams that are coming down to put on a show this weekend.
No, it's a great point. These races pay very well. The Sportsman race paid $2,000 to win. So support it. We'd love to see it year after year. Plus, Jessica Friesen's going to join us for the features up here in the booth, and I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. All right, Matt Williamson, second place finish here last night. The Buzz Chew Chevy, number 88 out of St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada. Got to ride along with him last night on the ENV Energy onboard as the field will take the green here for this second group of modified hot laps.
So Matt Shepard made mention last night of being in a tough draw and a tough heat. Tonight, he draws Matt Williamson, Larry White, Darren Smith, Peter Britton, Matt Cabrera.
Oof. Yeah.
I don't think there is an easy draw.
No. White flag coming out here. How good is Larry White's race car tonight, Adam? He's passing cars in warm-ups.
Yep. On the inside.
Yeah.
You got to think, if you look out the left side of your car and see the 99L, where am I running?
Yeah. Good shot of Alex Payne there, the Genic Group 70A, who last night finished in 4th place, which now gives Alex Payne a top 5 finish in each position in the top 5, except for the first spot.
Well, it gives you something to shoot for. We just had a look at TVD, Tanner Van Doren. They had broken a motor mount on that car yesterday, and then finally found it. Weren't sure why they were so far off the pace. So expect some more out of Tanner Van Doren here this evening.
Super Matt Shepard aboard the IHRA, debuting that new sponsorship down here at Alltech this week as group number 1 for the Sportsman rolls out. And driver that I think is going to be pretty hungry for a win tonight. Had one slip right out of his grasp last night. Derek McGrew Jr., the Next Generation Roofing, number 26. There's going to be a young man motivated tonight.
You know, I got the impression from his interview that he thought he got a good run off of turn number 2, just got into a little bit of a situation where he spun the tires, and that's all Jessica Power needed to get to the inside and drive by on the bottom. Sometimes you make a small, it's not even a mistake, it's a choice, right? And realize it can bite you pretty quick.
No, absolutely. And you know, for those that, those that watch dirt racing all the time will say, yeah, no, Steve, we get that. We understand that. If you're a new fan to what we do here with the big block modifieds, with these Sportsmen powered by 602 crate engines, there's no radios, there's no mirrors, there's none of that. So you're truly out there on your own trying to figure it out. And, you know, for Derek last night, you know, there was nobody in the headset saying, hey, 52's low, 52's low. Nobody's telling you that, so.
And what are they going to do? There's the example I was thinking right there. Carl Comfort in the 10. Very, very fast, not leaving the bottom. He told us as much.
Yeah.
Jessica Power, very, very fast, not leaving the bottom. So what happens tonight when we get out there? Derek McGrew was willing to go anywhere on the racetrack, and it cost him a little bit at times.
Yeah.
But that commitment eventually got him where he needed to be.
He stuck with it, for sure.
Sullivan Dickey, Todd English, there in the 7-11. Had a solid run last night. Which is why he told me we didn't get a temper tantrum out of him. Top 10 result.
Yeah. No, had a good run there for the Tornado. And Carl Comfort, he said, man, I just could not get a restart on the bottom lane. He goes, every time I went to restart last night, it felt like I was on the high side, which is not where I wanted to be. And just could not get that right. And there was even a couple instances where he took the lead in 1 and 2, and then the yellow flag would come out, and he'd have to go right back where he was. So
it's a cruel sport sometimes.
He said, but we kept at it. We kept at it. Final group of Sportsman hot laps. Nope, maybe this is the second group.
One of my favorite people in racing. You don't often get nice words. Martin Roy.
Ah.
Such a good dude. Watching
Sweet.
from Hollywood, Florida. Martin, you should be here.
I actually myself got a message from Matt Janzik, very accomplished sportsman and now modified driver. Adam, one thing that we've been talking about down here is the track and how everybody's handling it. Talking to some of the drivers this afternoon, I didn't really hear a whole lot of talk about the spoiler rule, taking that 3 inches away from the maximum deck height. Didn't hear a ton of talk about that, but I think that's something that a lot of drivers that are up north that didn't make the trip are going to be following this week.
Last night was a strange night. This whole week has been strange because we haven't heard a lot of negativity at all. Anthony Perego, really unfortunate incident. Hope he's going to heal up fast. Obviously, that's a negative for that race team choosing to go home and regroup for the spring. But really, it's been a lot of positivity, a lot of people that are happy to be here, happy to come and shake the rust off.
So final group of Sportsman hot laps on racetrack. And again, this is just a quick hot lap session. Give them a couple laps to feel that race car out. They'll get an opportunity to make a couple adjustments and then come out here for a green-white checker time trial. And here's a driver that was putting on a show last night, Brian Crummell, in his March to the front of the pack in that 17 ride out of Middletown.
Last night's feature was very much a restart-dominated feature. The few restarts that we did have, if you were in the wrong lane or a lane that didn't suit your car or a lane that didn't go, we saw drivers lose as many as 7 spots in one lap on a restart or gain almost as many in the same fashion.
Nick Zielinski aboard car number 11. I called him Tyler a few times last night, so we're getting it right this evening. Nick Zielinski in the 11, regular out at the Utica Speedway. This is the 3rd year that he's come down to support Sportsman Racing here at the All-Tech Raceway, so we'll see what Nick has for him tonight. Driver out of Waterville.
Makes that turn down onto the infield to head back to the pits.
And one driver, Adam, looking for a little bit better luck tonight, although I will say, even though they had some tough luck, that 58 of Logan Lockhart, he was the show at times last night.
And he said he's ready to do it again. They said they broke as much on that race car last night as they have in the last 2 years racing. It was a long list of things that needed to be replaced or straightened on that car. But there were no frowns down there. He was really wheeling that thing. So was this driver, the 22A of Avery Decker from Kirkwood, New York. Solid 6th place run.
Yep, so I spoke with him before strapping in here tonight, and he said, man, that was fun. He said, like you said, though, Adam, he goes, it was a battle, but he goes, that was fun. A lot of fun.
If you look at that car, any of these are basically team cars. The Windsors, the 78 of Stephen Windsor out of Harpersville, New York. These are not brand new bodies. These did not just roll out of the showroom. These things have been battled. They've been tidied up to come down here and compete, but not everyone's rolled out here with a brand new piece and a brand new wrap. Some of them are down here just to get the rust off and go at it.
Absolutely. 43 of Jeff Beaumier out of Three Rivers, Quebec, Canada. Down here competing with us, has never been to the All-Tech Raceway. Regular out at the Autodrome Granby and Autodrome Drummond Speedways. And Richard Murtaugh on your screen here, the 180 Flood Drive Properties ride, VP Racing Fuels on the side of that machine, the defending Super Dirt Week champion. He said he broke everything you could in the back of the car last night. U-joint broke, and when it broke, he goes, it detonated. He goes, it took out the drive shaft. It took out the torque arm. He goes, everything you can imagine went when that expired last night.
Yeah, so they're hoping for better luck. They're hoping that's what the issue was. Jessica Power, of course, going to victory lane last night in that beautiful Green Shield Pest Control, number 52.
The theme of that win last night, I know Mimi will appreciate this. Girls rule. Girls rule.
The race car doesn't know. She's just a hell of a race car driver.
That she is. That she is. Doing all the fans of Can-Am and Brockville well here this weekend. Brian Calabrese.
Jessica carries herself so well. Always has. We're just a good racer, good sport. Brian Calabrese, as you said, the 21.
Yeah, you know, speaking of Jessica last night in Victory Lane, do you know what I appreciated a lot? There was a lot of things to appreciate, but I think the thing I appreciated the most was one of the first things she mentioned was how excited she was to put on a show for the fans watching on DTD. I mean, that was one of the first, you know, not to mention, hey, I just won a $2,000 to win race down in the state of Florida. She was thinking fans first. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, no, that's not her. That's not put on. That's just who she is.
Yep.
All right, things are going to happen a little bit quicker now. They're coming out to the green flag here in qualifying. Dan Creedon out of Middletown, New York in the 10C, going to be the first driver to see the green. Rich Scalata, the 8 out of Hillsborough, New Jersey. 29 of Garrett Crummert from West Middlesex, PA, and from Connecticut in the 35, Chris Curtis. First lap in the books, 20.926, the time to beat.
So Danny Creedon right now, 20.296. Creedon on top of the board here in group number 1A. Rich Scalata second quick here in that group so far. 20.448 for Creedon. First lap, still faster at that 20.296. And I don't think anybody's going to have anything for Danny Creedon there. So Creedon, fastest here in Group 1A. Rich Scalata, second quick. Aboard car number 8. Garrett Crummert, third fastest in car number 29. And the 35 of Chris Curtis out of Canaan, Connecticut will round out the drivers here from Group 1A. Group 1B will be making their way trackside here momentarily. And again, this will help determine the starting lineup for tonight's 10-lap heat race. And there will be an inversion of 4.
We do know it's going to be 4. I
Yes.
thought it was going to be. I was at the drivers' meeting, but
Yep, so will be 4. They announced that at the drivers' meeting. And you know what? We'll have to put our good man Arthur on. I believe the redraw will also be 4 tonight.
we're on a need-to-know basis.
Yeah, that's
Steve, I
right.
get
That's
it.
right.
All right, from St. Denis to Richelieu, Quebec, the 61L is Donovan Lucier. Green flag in the air, time to pick it up. Matt Stengel in the 6th. Stengel from Neshannock Station, New Jersey. Alex Jankowski from Covington Township, Pennsylvania in the 84Y. And, of course, Sprakers, New York is home for the 44 of Stuart Friesen. Friesen knew that they had to go back and find some more speed in that 44 after last night. Let's see where Lucier's going to slot in. He's down in the 5th spot. Stengel going to come across the line in 6th. Alex Jankowski with the 20.634. Friesen with the 20.964. $20.905 for Lussier on his second lap. Stengel comes by with a 20.991. Jankowski with a 20.527. And Friesen going to come along with a 20.271. And I believe that is the quickest. I also believe the scoring pylon is set up for race results and not qualifying. So adds to the degree of difficulty. But, Steven, I could see you writing furiously there.
I'm trying like hell, and I'm failing. What I do have is 20.271, which is fastest, and that's Stuart Friesen here in Group 1B. What I don't have jotted down was the quick one out of 1A, so I don't know if Friesen was quick overall there.
In our defense, we didn't know we needed to.
That's right. But we do now.
Right? Stewart is the fastest we think. I love the confidence that comes out of the booth.
In my world, in medical documentation and coding, we call that an uncertain term.
It is all good. I wish there was a camera on Mimi. I wish there was a camera on Mimi showing the look on her face when she saw that her timing and scoring is also not working. As though it's worse for her than it is for us. Like, yeah. It sucks for all of us. We're ready now, though. I feel good about this now.
Yeah, no, we're prepared here for
Rick
number 2.
Rick Lawback out of Quakertown, PA, the Quaker Shaker in the 20, going to lead us to green. Rex King Jr. in the 165 from Bristolville, Ohio. Alex Payne, Canandaigua, New York in the 70A. And Jimmy Phelps, the Beeville Bandit, Baldwinsville, New York in the 98H.
Rick Lawback really excited about his race car last night. He's going to be the first to put a time up on the board, and that time will be 20.295. 20.295 for Rick Lawback, 21.190 for Rex King. Alex Payne at a 21.185, and Jimmy Phelps at a 20.811. Lap number 2 here for Rick Laubach, a 20.249. So he goes a little bit quicker there. Rex King Jr., 20.878. Alex Payne. Ooh, I don't know if that was Payne or Phelps. One of them, 20.704. I think it was Phelps. I think
it was too. I don't think Alex Payne registered on his second lap.
Oh. All right. Oh, hey, there we go.
This reminds me of the old days of Dirt Track Digest, having Microsoft Excel and the fastest fingers in the South.
I just got a glimpse into the world of two of my good friends from Canandaigua, the Spades. I can hear Gary in my ear right now saying, you know, Steve, this is how we used to do it.
Yeah, it could be done. I miss the days. There was nothing better than being at Syracuse for time trials when Brett Deo did it for a while. Kevin Kovac before him with a big whiteboard with magnets and putting all the times on the board with magnets and shuffling them around as people came along and went faster.
Wow.
That was drama.
Group 2B on the racetrack right now. Eric Rudolph in car number 25. Jeremy Pitts in the 27. The 18 of Sean Beardsley and the 27 of Tanner Van Doren looking to pick it up just a little bit here tonight as they take the green flag to get ready to put their first lap up on the board. Jeremy Pitts struggling just a little bit down there in turns 3 and 4. He'll put the first lap up on the board. 20.931 for Pitts. 20.626 for Eric Rudolph. First lap. Oh, doesn't look like it registered there for Beardsley, but a 20.139 for Tanner Van Doren. Welcome
Monster
back
lap.
to Alltech Raceway. 20.683 second lap there for Pitts. A 24.33 for Eric Rudolph. And for Tanner Van Doren, does he go quicker? Yes, he does. 20.036. And that's the fastest time overall so far. 20.036 for the driver out of Schnecksville, Pennsylvania, in the Hoffman Discount Parts, number 27.
Did we have anybody into the 19s last night? I don't think we did. They got faster in the heat races.
Yes, they did go considerably faster in the heat race, I remember. But, yeah, I don't think we did hit 19 last night.
My race pass still isn't playing along, so I'm going to take my ball and leave. All right, coming out for the next group. Group number 3 out of Clayton, New York. In the number 11, it's Matt Caprera. Ahead of him, finished second last night out of St. Catharines, Ontario. The 88 is Matt Williamson.
Riding on board with the ENV Energy onboard cam, the Smith site development. Number 12 of Darren Smith. Darren Smith out of Binghamton. And we are going to turn them loose here for Group 3A. Here for the big block modifieds, Matt Williamson, Matt Caprera, Larry White, Darren Smith. First lap will go on the board for money, Matt Williamson, and it will be 20.551 for Williamson. Matt Caprera, 21.120. Larry White, 19-second bracket, 19.952. 20.814 there for Smith, but Larry White in the 19-second bracket.
Checkered flag is out. Matty again, 20.5, 20.511, 20.847 for Caprera. White, 20.068.
Wow.
Darren Smith with a good one, 20.282. So that puts Darren Smith second quick out of those four. Matt Williamson third. Matt Caprera fourth.
Lightning Larry White with some heat under the stove here tonight.
So I think one of the biggest stories, well, not one of the biggest stories, because you can overcome anything, but Matt Shepard not making the invert Not only did he not make the redraw in the heat race, he didn't make the invert in time. So he's got to go out there and beat one of these 4 drivers, but he's got Peter Britton, Aiden Cipriano, and Dave Rauscher to deal with. So leading the way onto the track, Aiden Cipriano in the 5C out of Hermitage, Pennsylvania. Dave Rauscher, the big show from Waterloo, New York in the 48-2. 21A from Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. It's Peter Britton. And then, of course, the 9S from Savannah, New York, Matt Shepard.
Green flag out here for our final group, Group 3B. Cipriano, first car to take the green flag. Dave Rauscher closely behind him. Britton and Shepard on their first fast lap here. Let's see where they go. Can they reach a 19.952? Cipriano, 20.912. Dave Rauscher, 20.630. Peter Britton, 20.554. And Shepard, a 20.523. Second lap here for Cipriano. Does he go quicker? 20.506. 26.27 there for Dave Rauscher. Final lap for Peter Britton, 20.691. And Matt Shepard, 20.109.
That'll get him into the invert.
Yes, it will. But it will not get him past Larry White. Larry White, fastest here in group number 3, 19.952. He will start 4th in heat race number 3. Matt Shepard, second quick, 20.109. He'll start 3rd in heat race number 3. Darren Smith, 20.282. He'll start on the outside pole in heat race number 3. And Aiden Cipriano, the young guy, never seen All-Tech Raceway before this weekend. In car number 5C, 20.506. He will start pole in heat race number 3 here tonight.
It's a lot of fun to see some I don't want to say unfamiliar names, but names you don't always see at the front of these things. Aiden Cipriano, that's exciting. Because he's got some heavy hitters. I hope he doesn't think about who's starting behind him. It's a lot.
Regular out at the Lernerville Speedway, Sharon, and I've run some races at Tri-City as well. As you get a nice look there at the 9S for Matt Shepard out of Savannah. And he's got to look at that car, all sorts of new marketing partners Matt was talking about in the top 3 during Victory Lane ceremonies last night. Of course, Victory Lane brought to you by Scott Jeffrey Performance. SJP Victory Lane. That's where everybody is aiming for here tonight. Scott Jeffrey's Performance, a trusted name in performance parts and race-ready hardware. Scott Jeffrey's Performance is a go-to resource for racers who want quality products and knowledgeable support to get results on the track. Visit sjpplus.com.
There's some firepower in this Sportsman first heat as well. From Middletown, New York, the 17 is Brian Crummell. The 23 is from Clifton Park, New York. That's Chad Gregory. Last night's winner in the 52 from Kingston, Ontario was Jessica Power. And then from Fulton, New York, in the 33, Richard Murtaugh. Looking for better things tonight. In fact, they're sending all of them. Cole Henschel in the 3. The 44, James O'Hara out of Covington, Pennsylvania. And A.J. Alsop from Woodstock, Vermont in the 2A.
Appreciate everybody tuning in here on Dirt Track Digest, whether you're already logged in on Dirt Track Digest TV or watching us on socials. Don't forget, you can join us for the rest of tonight's program. $39.99. You can sign up for tonight's race, and you can even look at getting tomorrow night's race as well. Our Saturday night finale, DirtTrackDigest.tv, is where you can find more information to watch the rest of tonight's program, from the first green flag to the final checkered flag, right here on DTD.
Green flag is out. Crummell, the first car that's going to come across the line with an official time in this timed hot lap session. 21.371 for Crummell, 21.342 for Chad Gregory, 22.024 for Jessica Power. So Crummell at the top, but Chad Gregory not far behind. I think Chad Gregory just went faster,
Yes.
21.075. Great lap for Gregory.
Sure did. Crummell right now, second quick in that 17. Cole Henschel, third fastest here. Henschel getting ready to run weekly at the Albany-Saratoga Speedway in that 3 machine, and he's third fastest right now. Chad Gregory, top of the leaderboard there for heat group number 1, 21.075. Brian Crummell second quick at a 21.140. He'll start third in heat race number 1. Cole Henschel, 21.209. He'll start on the outside pole for heat race number 1. And A.J. Alsup. A.J. Alsup aboard the 2A. Great story down here at Alltech Raceway. He's going to start on the hammer out of Woodstock, Vermont for tonight's first heat race for the Sportsman. Now, Adam, tell for folks that might be tuning in tonight that didn't tune in on night number 1, what is your favorite thing about the 2A of A.J. Alsup?
I like the simplicity of this race car. Like this clearly did not go through a graphic designer's shop, and Pretty has never won a race before. By chance it has, but nothing has ever won a race because it was Pretty. That's a working man's race car right there.
You had no doubt about it, and not only that, but a working man's hauler as well. That was my favorite thing from yesterday.
The bus ramp truck. Can't go wrong.
No.
Sean Beardsley has a nice bus too.
Yes.
They just put that thing together, I guess. I would have liked to have seen what it looked like before.
Yeah. At one point there was a driver that might be down here for the second half of the Florida Speed Week, but the Morseman crew at one point were working on a bus hauler as well.
For my money, Marcel LaFrance had the best hauler ever.
Oh, hands down.
That was the bar by which I compare everything. All right, group number 2 on the track. Derek McGrew was supposed to be third out. He's like, forget that. I'm going to the front of the line. The 26 from Ballston Spa, New York. 12-year-old Sullivan Dickey in the 54 car. Sullivan Dickey from Mount Upton, New York. There we see Nick Zielinski in the 11 out of Waterville, New York. And now we'll get in order. From Penyan, the 10 car is Carl Comfort. 3T out of Valley Falls, New York is Mike Engwer. 165K from North Bloomfield, Ohio is Karsten King. An early leader last night in the feature wound up sacrificing himself to one of the infield tires. From Warren, Ohio, the C3 is Chaz Walbert.
So group number 2 on the racetrack, and we'll get the green flag here. Green, white, checkered is the format. To set the lineup here for heat race number 2.
You know a racetrack is slick by nature when the sportsmen are close in time to what the modifieds are running.
Yeah. No, without a doubt. We'll see what Derek McGrew puts up here, 21.790. Sullivan Dickey goes even faster, 21.600.
Sullivan Dickey, the quickest so far until a 21.322 for Mike Engwer.
Engwer now at the top of the leaderboard. Chaz Wolbert joins him up there, 21.527. 21.527. Sullivan Dickey still third quick right now on the sheet. How about it for Karsten King, fourth fastest here, 21.553 for the youngster out of Ohio.
Just picked up another spot. The front row of this heat is going to have a combined age of about 16. No, I don't think either driver is 16 years old, but that front row is going to have a combined age of under 30.
There are no legal licenses on the front row of heat race number 2. Wow.
And meanwhile, Row 3 is going to come from the generation that could have handed you a note to go to the corner store and pick up a pack of smokes, even if you were 5 years old. Right? These are the things that are great about this sport. Such a variety in age and experience.
Yes, for sure.
But what about Derek McGrew? Is that right?
21.727.
7th quick out of 7 cars.
Yeah. Group number 3 making their way onto the racetrack. First car to lead them out here, Eric Windsor out of Harpersville. The Wheelers Excavating, DJ Akers Excavating, number 79. And Adam, I'll let you introduce the second driver, man. He was fun to watch last night.
The highlight reel.
Yeah.
From Seneca, Pennsylvania, the 58 is Logan Lockhart.
Brian Calabrese aboard car number 21C, the Ingram Engines. Ferris Coin and Jewelry sponsored ride out of Johnstown, New York, out here in group number 3. Avery Decker aboard car number 22A. Kirkwood, New York. Bosket Brothers Bluestone, Windsor Acres sponsored ride. Never been to All-Tech Raceway or raced here before last night. Regular at Thunder Mountain. And here's Jeff Beaumier.
From Three Rivers.
That's right.
In the Santamont 43. Very polite young man. Did you have a chance to talk to him much?
I did, yes. We attempted Three Rivers in French Canadian 3 times, and
yeah,
he
that's
said
a 3-strike rule. Yeah.
He said just go with Three Rivers.
We
it's
say
good.
Three Rivers.
Green flag out here for this final group of Sportsman timed hot laps here. Todd English in the 7, part of this group as well. Getting ready to go by the E&V Energy speed shot here on the front straightaway.
That's the 7-Eleven, thank you.
Yeah, the 7, yes, you're right. You're
the
right.
11's a little bougie, but it's there.
It's there, yes. An interesting story about this. This car is a car that Alex Payne raced on the Short Track Super Series last year in 2025. They got it all put together for Todd to run in the Sportsman here at All-Tech. Checkered flag coming out. Let's get a look at the best lap here. And how about this? Avery Decker had the quick time for and he just took it back, 21.011.
Almost breaks into the 20-second range.
Wow. Look at that. So Avery Decker, 21.011, fast timer here in group number 3. He will start 4th in heat race number 3. Brian Calabrese, second quick, 21.194. He'll start 3rd in heat race number 3. Jeff Beaumier will start outside pole at a 21.406. And the human highlight reel himself, Logan Lockhart, 4th fastest, 21.544.
We make a big deal out of that, but what I liked the most was walking into that pit area. He's down here with the King Brothers Racing, and it was a bad night in terms of they bent and broke more parts than they have in a couple of seasons in one night. There was no sad faces. Like, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to go out there and send it, find a line that'll work. He was all over the racetrack. He looked great out there.
Yeah.
Just put himself in harm's way one too many times and caught a bad break, and it caught him.
Well, he'll look to improve upon that here tonight. And if you want to watch the human highlight reel, try to do it tonight. Join us on DirtTrackDigest.tv, $39.99 to see the rest of tonight's program, including all of the qualifying heat races as well as our 40-lap big block modified feature paying $5,000 to win, and our 25-lap Sportsman feature paying a crisp $2,000 to win here at the All-Tech Raceway. So for those that have joined here on social media, we thank you for joining us, and we hope you'll join us on the live broadcast on DTD.
Cars going over the scales. There's one that seems to be taking a little bit longer. I think he just got the thumbs up, though, to drive away.
Opening ceremonies coming up here in just a moment here from All-Tech Raceway. And while we have an opportunity here before opening ceremonies, Adam, did you get a look at the apparel downstairs for the Showdown in the Sunshine State? Good-looking T-shirts down there.
Yeah, the shirts are great. The hats are great. We should ask if the hats are even for sale, because I know they gave them to the drivers. I don't know if there's hats for sale, but they look awesome. The shirts look awesome. And again, this whole week of racing, 3 days of racing, 1 day of practice, got put together in less than 2 months by George and GT and Mike, the gang at DTD. They've done such a good job of putting it together. I thought I had seen George in maximum, I don't want to say stress, but George takes on the world. You could see this was new. Like this was new challenges for him down here, but they've done a great job. The race, listen, if you can have 50 racers come down to a place and you don't hear much of any complaining, that's just weird.
Yeah, no, it's been all positive here all week long, whether racers have won races or not. So stop down, especially if you're here at the racetrack, stop over and grab yourself a piece of the action from the Showdown